Hey, night owls. Thank you for joining me tonight. I hope you're doing well and ready to unwind. It means a lot that you've tuned in. Truly, thank you. Wherever you're listening from, feel free to drop a comment, sharing where in the world you are. I love hearing from our little late-night community. Please consider liking and subscribing if you enjoy these nighttime journeys. Tonight, I've got something special for you. We're traveling back in time nearly 1,000 years to experience the Song Dynasty Night Market in Hangzhou. Under the gentle glow of countless lanterns. Get cozy and let's drift off to a different era together. Now, before we embark, go ahead and dim your lights. Maybe turn on a fan or some soft background noise. Snuggle into your bed or your comfiest chair. Take a deep breath and let the day's worries go. You can almost feel the air changing around you, as if the veil of time is lifting. Congratulations! You just woke up in the year 1142 in Lin'an, the city known today as Hangzhou. It's the capital of the southern Song Dynasty, and night has fallen. In this era, Hangzhou is a city of lights, one of the largest and most prosperous cities on the planet. The sky above is deep indigo, and the moon's silver light is complemented by a warm, flickering glow from thousands of lanterns along the streets. You stand at the heart of a bustling night market, surrounded by sights, sounds, and smells that are completely alien yet oddly comforting. Take a moment to absorb it. You've travelled to a time when this city earned the nickname, the city that never sleeps. The first thing you notice is the light. Everywhere, lanterns sway gently from eaves and poles, painting golden halos in the darkness. Paper and silk lanterns of every shape and size glow warmly. Simple red globes, delicate lotus flowers, even a few shaped like rabbits and fish. They bob above the heads of the crowd, illuminating faces with a festive sheen. It's as bright as dusk here on the main avenue. In fact, some say Hangzhou streets are so well lit that if you viewed Earth from space, this city would shine while most of the world lay in darkness. Historians still argue whether Song cities truly glowed brightly enough to be seen from the sky. But the point stands. No other medieval city can compare. The public lighting is no accident. The government has set up street lamps, bridge lamps, and hanging road lamps everywhere to help people safely wander at night. Under these lights, the market is alive. Listen to the hum around you. Merchants are hawking their wares with melodic cries. Children dart between stalls, waving small lanterns shaped like animals. giggling as they chase each other. Somewhere to your left, a street performer beats a rapid rhythm on a drum, and a bamboo flute joins in from the right, creating an impromptu music that mingles with the laughter of the crowd. The energy is infectious, but not frantic. It's a gentle, rhythmic buzz of a city enjoying itself. You can smell sweet incense from a nearby shrine, mixed with the mouth-watering aroma of street food grilling on open coals. Occasionally, a crackle and pop echoes above the chatter. Firecrackers likely set off in celebration. Tiny blossoms of sparks light up a distant corner of the sky for an instant, punctuating the night with a reminder that this is a special time of year. It's the 15th day of the first lunar month, the Lantern Festival, marking the end of the Lunar New Year celebrations. During the Song Dynasty, from 960 to 1279, this festival is one of the highlights of the year, and Hangzhou's festivities are legendary. Normally, ancient cities enforced strict curfews after dark, but not tonight. In fact, the very notion of a bedtime for the city has been tossed out. The Song emperors long ago relaxed the curfew laws to encourage nightlife and commerce. Historians still argue whether Captain Taitsu of Song lifted the curfew solely for economic reasons, or perhaps because he personally enjoyed a good midnight snack. Either way, his 965 AD decree to allow night markets until the third watch of the night was a smashing success. By the mid-northern Song era, curfews were history, and cities like this bloomed with activity all night long. So, here you are, in a city that truly never sleeps, free to roam as late as you like. Before you dive deeper into the throng, you pull aside for a moment to get your bearings. Picture a broad street paved with stones, lined with shops and stalls whose doors are thrown open invitingly. Silk banners hang from second-story windows, fluttering with painted characters advertising sea houses and silk merchants. Each shop has its own lanterns out front, often bearing the shop's name or symbol. These serve as the neon signs of the 12th century, drawing customers with light and colour. A few establishments even have special decorative lamps shaped like a mountain, a sign that marks a restaurant by tradition. Those with such lanterns still burning mean late-night dining is available. Good to know, in case you get hungry later. And judging by the savoury scents in the air, you certainly will. From a nearby rooftop, you hear a sudden burst of laughter and clinking cups. It seems some patrons have already started their late-night feast on an open-air balcony. A couple of paper lanterns hanging from that roof cast a cosy glow on the revellers. The scene reminds you of a line from the poet Suzhou, a famous statesman and literary figure of the Song Dynasty. He once strolled through a night market much like this and marvelled at how the hustle and bustle of the silk market reminded him of his homeland. and how the lights shining on Maxing Street bring back memories of past years. You can't help but smile, knowing that Sudongpo, a man who lived 1,000 years before you, also found comfort and nostalgia in a lively street full of lights. As you stand there taking it all in, someone in the crowd gently bumps your shoulder, murmuring an apology as they pass. You realize you're right in the flow of foot traffic, and this city's residents are on a mission to enjoy the night. Time to move along. You merge with the current of people, letting it carry you deeper into the market. Lantern light dances in your eyes. The night has truly awakened, and so have you. You drift along the crowd through Imperial Street, the main artery of Hangzhou's urban life. The sheer number of people out and about is staggering. Remember, this city is thought to house around 1 million residents. In these few blocks alone, you see an eclectic mix of humanity. Elegant scholar officials in flowing silk robes walk side by side with labourers and peddlers in plain hemp clothing. Here a group of ladies in embroidered gowns flutter silk fans as they stroll, and there a gaggle of country farmers gape at the tall buildings and bright lanterns like it's their first time in the big city. Street hawkers weave through it all, carrying poles on their shoulders with baskets dangling from each end, calling out whatever treats or trinkets they're selling. You even spot a few foreign faces in the mix. Central Asian merchants with thick beards and high noses, their robes in fashions quite unlike the Chinese style. Hangzhou is a cosmopolitan city on the Maritime Silk Road, and merchants come from as far as Arabia and Persia. In fact, there's a mosque not far from here, the Phoenix Mosque, built by Persian traders who settled in Hangzhou, a testament to the city's diversity. The world has truly come to mingle in these crowded paths. Everyone is out because the festival atmosphere is simply irresistible, curfew or not. The Lantern Festival is one night even the stodgiest officials don't dare shut down. And indeed, walking shoulder to shoulder with strangers under the lantern glow, you feel a sense of communal excitement. People chatter about the sights. Have you been to see the Dragon Lantern by West Lake yet? I heard there's a troupe performing near the Zongen Bridge tonight. Snippets of conversation swirl around. Now and then you catch a kind wishing you prosperity as acquaintances greet each other in passing, even though technically that's more of a New Year's greeting. The festive cheer hasn't worn off yet. You pass by a small Guanyin temple nestled between shops, its courtyard open to the street. Inside, dozens of candles and lanterns are lit. Some locals step in to light incense and pray for good fortune, their faces calm in the golden light. A young woman exits the temple just as you pass. She carries a lantern shaped like a lotus flower, and a faint smile on her face, as if comforted by her prayers. On the temple's eaves, red lanterns swing gently, illuminating a painted signboard. The scene is peaceful, almost intimate, despite being just a few paces from the bustling street. Back on the main road, an excited shout draws your attention ahead. You see a small crowd gathering in a circle under the bright glow of a dozen hanging lanterns. Curiosity piqued, you approach and tiptoe to look over shoulders. In the middle of the circle, a street performer has set up a makeshift stage. He's dressed in a tattered costume, playing the role of a fool, complete with a painted goofy grin and fake donkey ears on his head. Right now he's juggling ceramic bowls. The spectators ooh and ah as he deftly flips bowls into the air one after another, until he has 5 arcing through the air. With a flourish, he catches them all in a neat stack on his head to roaring applause. You find yourself clapping along, grinning at the silliness of it all. The jester bows comically, then launches into his next act, mimicking local characters. He mimics a stern Confucian teacher scolding lazy students, then a drunken fishmonger yelling at a cat. Each caricature sending ripples of laughter through the crowd. It's good, clean fun, and for a moment you forget that your day-to-day life is centuries away. Right now, you're simply another face in a joyous audience. As you continue down the street, you keep an eye and a hand on your coin pouch. With so many people pressed together, a night market can be a pickpocket's paradise. Some things never change through the ages. Densely packed crowds attract sneaky fingers, and you'd rather not lose the few coins you have on you. Sure enough, you notice a boy of maybe 10 years slinking through the crowd with far too much focus on dangling purses. He sidles up behind a stout man who's engrossed in a shadow puppet show at a stall, and the boy's fingers start to work at the cord of the man's coin purse. Before you can even react, there's a sharp cry. Hey! A city watchman has grabbed the boy by the scuff. The thief wriggles but quickly surrenders the pouch. The watchman gives the boy a gentle cuff on the ear and a stern lecture. Then, surprisingly, hands the boy a steamed bun from a nearby food vendor before sending him off. It seems even law enforcement has a heart on festival night. Maybe the kid was more hungry than wicked. You make a mental note that the night watch is present but merciful. Tonight truly is about enjoyment, not punishment. Walking on, you cross paths with an elegant older man wearing a scholarly cap and robes. He carries a small lantern inscribed with poetry and has a serene, slightly amused expression as he observes the revelry. When he sees a couple of street teenagers setting off a noisy string of firecrackers, he strokes his beard and chuckles rather than scolds. There's something familiar about him. In fact, he bears a resemblance to portraits you've seen of the poet Liu, a renowned writer of the Southern Song. Could it be him? Liu would be around in this era, and indeed he was known to wander among common folk despite his status. You decide not to bother the gentleman, but as he passes, you catch a few words of the poem written on his lantern, about moonlight on spring rivers. Perhaps it truly is Lu Yu, enjoying the sights incognito. Whether it's him or not, the moment exemplifies the spirit of the Song Night Market. High and low, rich and poor, all mingling under the lanterns. Historians still argue whether Song-era China had a middle class in the modern sense, but nights like this blur the lines between social strata. For tonight, everyone shares the same public joy. The street continues, seemingly endless, lined with more attractions beckoning you. In the distance you hear gongs and see flashes of movement, maybe a lion dance performance drawing a crowd. To your right, an aroma of something sweet and baked wafts out of a pastry stall, making your mouth water. You realize you've been happily wondering for quite a while now. It might be time to indulge your taste buds next. After all, how could anyone sleep in this era without a late-night snack? With your curiosity leading the way and no set destination, you let your nose guide you towards the food stalls ahead, anticipating the next delight, or perhaps disaster, that this lively night has in store. The heart of the night market is arguably the food zone, a stretch of street where one side is dominated by open-air food stalls, known locally as the Paifang. As you enter this area, you're hit with a symphony of sizzling, bubbling and chopping sounds, accompanied by a medley of potent smells. Imagine smoke from grills carrying the scent of spiced meat skewers, steam from giant bamboo baskets of dumplings, and the fragrance of ginger, garlic and scallions being tossed in woks. It's positively intoxicating, and yes, slightly overwhelming. Your stomach rumbles in response. The stalls are lit by clusters of small lanterns, which cast a friendly light on piles of ingredients laid out for display. One vendor has an entire pig spitted and roasting, golden skin crackling in the heat. Another has a wooden tub filled with live fish and eels, ready to be cooked to order. At a nearby table, a cook deftly stretches dough into noodles so thin you can almost see through them, before dunking them into a boiling cauldron of broth. There's something for every palate here. In fact, the variety of late-night snacks on offer in Song Dynasty Hangzhou is famous. The stalls offer everything from frozen fish heads, a winter delicacy apparently, to braised rabbit, from grilled kidneys to roasted pigskin, and even pickled crabs and braised lamb feet. Yes, you heard right. The people here aren't squeamish, and every part of the animal can be a treat if cooked right. That particular stall's menu reads like a dare for modern eaters. You might skip the frozen fish heads for now, but who knows, you're feeling adventurous. For those with tamer tastes, fear not. Plenty of more familiar options are around. You see skewers of lamb, seasons with cumin and chili, an influence from the muslin merchants of the northwest perhaps. There are piping hot meat buns stuffed with pork and spring onion, their juices leaking onto the vendors' wooden trays. A few stalls specialize in vegetarian fare, grilled tofu, braised eggplant, and wild mushrooms gathered from the nearby hills. One stand is selling something called tanghulu. You recognize it as candied fruits on a stick, crunchy sugar shells around hawthorn berries, making a sweet tart lollipop of nature. Children crowd that one, each leaving with a shiny red stick of candied fruit like it's the medieval equivalent of a cotton candy stand. You can't resist any longer. You approach a stall where a jovial woman is frying what looks like small balls of dough in a wok of oil. She grins and beckons as you sniff the air. "Merci," she calls. You exchange a few copper coins for a skewer of these golden brown balls. They're glutinous rice flour dumplings, rolled in sesame and fried to perfection, then drizzled with honey. The first bite is heavenly, crisp on the outside, soft and chewy inside, with a nutty sweetness. It reminds you a bit of fried mochi. "Hao-chi-ma?" she asks. "Tasty, isn't it?" You nod vigorously, unable to speak because you're too busy chewing and smiling. Feeling a bit more bold, you slide over to the stall with the infamous oddities. Perhaps just one bite of something adventurous. After all, you only live in the Song Dynasty once. A trio of young men next to you are daring each other to try the grilled kidneys. One finally orders, and the vendor fans the coals, sending up a tantalizing smell of cumin and pepper. The man takes a bite, and his eyes widen. "Not bad," he laughs. Encouraged, you spot a skewer of what looks like browned meat cubes and ask for one. It's labelled. Yep, those are the kidneys. You bite in, and, surprise, it's actually delicious. Smoky, heavily spiced, with a tender texture. You would not have guessed the organ meat reputation if no one told you. Maybe those Song Dynasty folks are on to something. Nearby, a group of tipsy gentlemen are slurping something from small bowls at a stand draped in a banner that reads "Late Night Soup Shop." Curious, you peek in and see a big pot simmering with a milky broth. Slices of fish, tofu, and pickled greens swim in it. This is Westlake Fish Shop, a local speciality said to be wonderfully restorative. Another cauldron holds what looks like a spicy stew of duck and bamboo shoots. The vendor ladles out portions to the men, who knock it back and sigh with contentment, their cheeks flushed from rice wine. It dawns on you that, yes, alcohol is flowing freely here too. Plenty of stalls offer warmed rice wine, infused with osmanthus flowers or plum blossom wine for a sweet floral kick. Perhaps you'll save the wine for a bit later. You don't want to get too drowsy before seeing more of the night. Your journey tonight has been long and rich. Now there is nothing more to see or do. You've experienced the delights and found the calm after the celebration. Let that calmness deepen. It's okay to let go of the imagery now and simply float in a comfortable darkness. You've earned your rest. With a final whisper, I wish you a good night. May the glow of 1,000 Song Dynasty lanterns guard your dreams and keep them sweet. May the gentle murmurs of Westlake soothe any lingering worries. You are safe. You are warm. And you are at peace. Close your eyes and drift off like a lantern on the night breeze. Sweet dreams.